It all started on a rainy evening. I was returning home from the library, my bag stuffed with textbooks and notes for the upcoming university entrance exam. The streets were nearly empty, with only the occasional passing car splashing water onto the sidewalks. My mind was cluttered with stress, mock tests, revision schedules, and the constant pressure to excel weighed heavily on me. That's when I heard it. A faint, desperate meowing from the alleyway beside my apartment complex. I hesitated at first, glancing at my watch. Time was running out for my study session. But something in that cry made me turn back. In the dim glow of the street lamp, I saw a small, drenched kitten curled up beside a garbage bin. It was shivering, its frail body barely able to move. Without a second thought, I scooped it up, wrapping it in my already damp jacket. The poor thing pressed against me, its tiny heartbeat fluttering against my chest. Bringing it home was a decision that would change my life. I named him Leo. He was weak at first, barely eating, his body too frail to move around much. The vet told me he was malnourished and needed careful nursing, so between my study breaks, I fed him with a dropper, cleaned his fur, and made sure he was warm. I was already drowning in responsibilities, but something about Leo's fragile state made me determined to help him survive. As days turned into weeks, I saw Leo fight through his struggles. The once frail kitten slowly started standing on his wobbly legs. His appetite grew, and his eyes, which had been filled with fear and exhaustion, now carried a spark of determination. Watching him struggle, yet persist, made me reflect on my own battles. I had been drowning in my own self-doubt, questioning whether I was capable of achieving my dreams. Every wrong answer in a mock test felt like a failure, and every late-night study session left me feeling like I wasn't doing enough. But then, I saw Leo stumble and get back up, again and again, without hesitation. One particular night, I was at my desk, exhausted and frustrated. The complex math problems in front of me refused to make sense. I felt like giving up, closing my books, and surrendering to the feeling of defeat. That's when I saw Leo. He was trying to climb onto my bed, his tiny legs struggling to pull him up. Again and again, he slipped, his claws barely gripping the fabric of the blanket. But he didn't stop. After what felt like countless failed attempts, he finally managed to pull himself up, standing triumphantly on my bed. Something clicked inside me at that moment. If a tiny kitten could keep trying despite failure, why couldn't I? From that night onward, I adopted a new mindset. Every difficult problem became a challenge rather than an obstacle. Every failed mock test became a stepping stone rather than a dead end. Leo had unknowingly become my silent mentor, reminding me that resilience mattered more than immediate success. As my exams approached, my days were filled with relentless studying. There were moments of doubt, moments when I questioned if all my effort was worth it. But each time, I looked at Leo, now stronger, more confident, and full of life. He had survived because he refused to give up, and so would I. The day of my final exam arrived. I walked into the examination hall with my heart pounding, but I wasn't paralyzed by fear anymore. I had learned to face challenges head-on. Just like Leo, I would keep pushing forward, no matter how difficult the journey. Weeks later, when the results were announced, my hands trembled as I opened the website. As soon as I saw the passing score next to my name, I let out a shaky breath, tears forming in my eyes. I had done it. I had fought through self-doubt, exhaustion, and the fear of failure. And I had won. That night, as I sat on my bed, Leo curled up beside me, purring softly. I realized something profound. Success isn't about being the smartest or the fastest. It's about having the heart to keep going, even when the odds are against you. Leo had been abandoned, weak, and left to struggle. But he fought, survived, and thrived. And in doing so, he had unknowingly taught me the greatest lesson of my life. No matter how tough the journey, no matter how many times you fall, what matters is that you get back up and keep fighting. Because just like Leo, we all have the strength to rise again.